Welcome back, my beautiful, beautiful people of City Living. Now we are going to touch on a topic that is very close to my heart. Of course, you know that is food, because the 7th edition of the Food Indaba will be kicking off soon. And this year, they're going to be exploring the potential impact and the opportunities of artificial intelligence on the African food system. Now, they're going to be hosting a variety of events. And for this year's Food Indaba, and today we will be speaking to Kurt Ackerman, who's going to be telling us all about this year's Food Indaba. Welcome to the show, Kurt.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now tell us a little bit about the history of the Food Indaba, because I understand that this is the 7th one. Can you tell us, what sparked this? What motivated you guys to start this?
Sure. So we're a nonprofit organization, and we have been working in the food system with local farmers and other food producers, and realized there were so many people with important and interesting stories to tell. So we invited them to tell the stories to one another, and over the years that grew, and we went from talking about food and the food system to cooking and eating together and walking tours and arts exhibitions. And so gradually it grew into something that's quite substantial, and it's an important opportunity for us to talk about something that's, I think, near and dear to all of us. We all eat.
Exactly.
So
we all
all
eat. It's something that we've got to do to stay alive.
Yeah.
But there's more than just about the eating and the enjoyment of the
Right.
food. It's more than just a recreational thing. Like there's a deeper story. And for this year, you are focusing on the effects of artificial intelligence on the African food system. Now, take me through that process. Why did we decide that this year was going to be the year that we're focusing on it, and why are we focusing on the effects of AI?
Sure. So the easier question is why this year, and that was really just the rate of growth of the importance of AI in our day-to-day lives.
Correct.
And knowing that if we weren't doing it this year as an annual event, by the time we got to next year, it would be an old story.
It would be too late.
Right. And part of it is also that so many of the people who work in food and food systems aren't thinking of themselves as technical people. And so to come together and all be able to ask the dumb questions and get a bit of an AI 101, how do we use this tool? How is it using us?
Yes.
Is an important moment. And that's a segue to the other part of the question, which is, why focus on this? So part of it is that we're all using these tools, for better or for worse. So we should understand what's at risk and how we use them well and how we use them poorly. And then also how they're using us.
Yes.
Because if we think about these ChatGPT and these other large language models, the data in them, of all the data, only 5% is about Africa.
Wow.
And of that 5%, only 3% comes from Africa.
Sure.
So it's a vanishingly small percent of the data that actually is Africa's voice in these sets that are shaping our schoolwork, our jobs,
Our work
the world,
life,
exactly, everything. So we took the moment to say, wait a minute, what is it about these systems? What is it about our data, our knowledge? What about traditional knowledge? What about our languages? How do we ensure that we are well represented with attribution? And how do we guard ourselves against getting answers from these systems that actually don't know anything about us?
Exactly. They don't know necessarily anything about us. So the message could be misconstrued and misunderstood. And I think it is important, that we jump into it and understand that, listen, if you're telling our story, let it be from our voice, right?
Exactly, yes.
And I understand that there are more than 20 events that you are hosting within the month. Now, firstly, that is phenomenal.
It's a lot.
Can you tell us a little bit about the variety of events that you are hosting?
Sure. So as we were saying earlier, everybody eats, everybody has an interest, but not everyone wants to go to an all-day conference. Some people would just want to eat delicious food.
Yes.
Other people are interested in other aspects of it. So we've learned to offer quite a wide range of ways that people can learn a bit more. So some people, attending like a book launch. We've got at the Book Lounge a launch with Kim Bagley about a new recipe book that she's launching. We also have walking tours of the historic Central City, but also of Belleville, the market in the Belleville CBD, so street food and that. Also Langa, street food tours. So people may want to walk through a community and eat some shisanyama and talk with people in a way they never have. We've got a kids program with a science center, so kids will be making ice cream, but they'll also be using indigenous African food ingredients for interesting and different flavor profiles, learning about indigenous knowledge and how that affects our food system as well. And, we'll go from there. The Ezeko Museum is giving a tour of the Humanity exhibition, which is amazing. So how did our diet affect our evolution and how we are as humans?
And I love the fact that you've got all these partners, coming on board to have a conversation like this.
Exactly.
And I just want to touch on it again, the effects that AI has, because someone watching this might look at this conversation and be like, but they can't understand what AI has got to do with food. So maybe if you can just break it down in kind of like layman's terms for
Sure.
our viewers out there, so that they can see the importance of why this conversation needs to be had.
Sure. So a lot of the initial concept of AI in the food system might lead people to think about things like robots driving tractors or drones with remote sensing. And those are important considerations for like the farming, or what we call the production side of our food system. But because South Africa on paper is actually food secure, the problem that we have isn't about production and efficiency of production. Although it's important for the businesses, the farms as businesses, for us thinking from civil society point of view about our food system, we know that there are very high levels of food insecurity, poor nutrition security. About 30% of all children under the age of 6 are chronically malnourished.
Wow.
We have deep, deep problems. It's about structural inequity and our deep inequality in our society. So how can AI help us understand how to address those challenges? That's really the core of it. And then we have other interesting tools that are available to us. So SASSI, for example, helps us with sustainable seafoods.
Yes.
And they're part of a program that the World Wildlife Foundation supports also. And their app is using AI, so you can take a picture of the fish that you see in the shop and
see
say,
if it's on the green
is it on the
list?
green list? Exactly. They're using AI to protect, whales from getting tangled in the lines for the fisheries in Saldanha. It's like there are all kinds of interesting applications that are happening in the food system. And then for us as consumers, we're looking, what are the tools that can help us with personalized nutrition? What are some of the other ways that we can maybe buy directly from farmers, and the farmers can produce for us in ways that aren't just apps, but are actually much more kind of systemic in their shifts of where the power is, so we don't always have to go to the shop, but we can have more agency for ourselves.
And of course, listening to you right now, that it's incredible, and it's the main reason as to why this conversation, needs to be had. But for our viewers out there who want to attend, right, who are looking forward to coming to the Food Indaba, where can they go? Where can they find it? And what are the dates?
Sure. So the Food Indaba is running from the 7th to the 20th of July. We have, as you said, over 20 events. Some of them are happening multiple times. The walking tours, you can go and have tea with a farmer, those kinds of things. So all of our tickets are on Quicket, and if you go to the foodindaba.org website, then all of the ticketed events are listed, and they range from free to, for a full day conference, I can't remember, it's a few $100.
Amazing.
So it's not crazy expensive. And for those who are, associated with schools and institutions, we do have discount options, so they can link with their institutions to ask if they've got a connection there. But we want to make sure people are in the room, that we have a diverse, varied, set of voices and perspectives to unpack this, because we all eat, we all have a level of expertise, and we all have something to say about it.
Awesome. Kurt, thank you so much for being here. You out there, you've heard it, from the 7th to the 20th of July. It is the Food Indaba. Make sure that you book those tickets. Thank you so much, Kurt. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. But right now, we're going to take a quick little break. We will be back with some more right after this.